Alright, so we're doing quick draft, so we don't need to worry about sideboard cards here. So pack one, pick one, pretty bad one. Gigantosaurus is almost never gonna end up in our deck, since mono green's a difficult one to make work. There's the Encyclopedia, which can be okay in certain decks. Artificer can also be a nice build around. So if we pick it early, we can kind of keep artifacts in mind when drafting. There's also Rejuvenator, which is okay. Nice ramp card. And another payoff card for artifacts in Scholar of Stars. But if I were to take a payoff for artifacts, it would probably be the Artificer over the Scholar. For me, it's between Encyclopedia, Artificer, and Rejuvenator. I haven't really drafted an aggressive artifact-based deck yet, so I'm kind of in for the Artificer, see if we can make this work. And then we would love to either wheel Encyclopedia, although that seems unlikely, or the Scholar of Stars. Alright, and get rewarded with an Aerial Engineer, which is great. There's Dwindle, which is fine. Some okay artifacts, but I'm just taking the Engineer here, moving into blue-white aggro artifacts. And wow, that's 3 great uncommons for this archetype. And then hoping to wheel Manalith or Snapping Drake. This is a great start for this deck. Alright, so 3 amazing first picks. So now we just need to make sure we have enough artifacts to make these cards work. And Prodigy might be an okay pick here to go with our aggressive artifact-based deck. There's probably a case to be made for the Forsaken Sanctuary if we want to splash. Salvager of Secrets doesn't particularly go great in this archetype. So I think I'm just taking Prodigy and trying to make this deck work. We're pretty committed at this point. Alright, so there is a one with a machine. Even in an artifact-based deck, I don't think this card is great. Just because it's so conditional. So I'm probably leaning towards the Omen Speaker over Millstone. Millstone is a cheap artifact, but we should be able to pick up better artifacts that fit our aggressive plan better, like the Marauder's Axe. Maybe even Field Creeper would go better in this deck. There's even a chance the one with the machine wheels, although pretty unlikely. Alright, so there's Field Creeper, which we actually have to consider now, since we have all these cards that ask for artifacts. And there's a Divination, which would normally be an easy pick here. I actually think we take the Field Creeper, as weird as that sounds, just because we need the artifacts to make this deck work, otherwise all these cards are useless. So yeah, let's take the Creeper over Divination. Not a pick you would usually make, but I think it might be a correct in this particular case. Just want to make sure we end up with enough artifacts. And here's actually an interesting pick, Scholar of Stars versus Gearsmith Guardian. I think we just lean towards the artifact again to make sure we have enough of those over the payoff card, but I would definitely love a Scholar as well. But again, just going to prioritize artifacts to make sure we end up with enough of them. Could take Stone Quarry in case we end up with a great red card we want to splash. There's also Rustwing Falcon and Serpent. Falcon doesn't particularly fit into this deck unless we pick up the gloves that let us draw cards when we connect with a creature, which would go pretty well in our deck being an artifact. The Serpent might just be an okay Curve Topper in case we don't end up with one. I think this is a first difficult pick. I don't hate the Sea Serpent as Curve Topper. Alright, got a Falcon anyways. And wow, Dwindle and Axe both wheeled. Did not expect to see a Dwindle this late, but Axe fits our deck perfectly. Yeah, I think it's actually the Axe here. Scholar or Knight of the Tusk. Given that we already have a Serpent, I'm probably more likely to want a filler 3-drop in case we need more creatures, but we're unlikely to play either one of them. Alright, got a Knight anyways. Alright, so pretty exciting first pack. We've got some nice synergies going, lots of powerful uncommons, and already have quite a few artifacts to make our synergies work. And we opened Sarkhan, which is nice and all, but there's also a very powerful Herald of Faith. Murder as well. Vampire Sovereign's also great. So lots of good black cards. There's also Dwindle, Aven Windmage, which I would definitely like in our deck, but pretty easy Herald here. Just a very powerful white card. Fits our deck perfectly. Alright, and there's a Sky Scanner. Fits our deck perfectly as well. Over Field Creeper, Drill Master, and Divination. Makes sense to me. Should also look at the Electrify on the splash, but I don't think we'll have to. And there's the Rogue's Gloves. Perfect. So there's Rogue's Gloves, another Guardian, Drake. Those are the three main cards I'm looking at now. And I think our deck is going to be powerful enough where we don't need to splash, so I'm not really looking at the Strangling Spores. So I'm kind of leaning towards the Gloves. If we can pick up some more Falcons, then the Gloves can definitely pay off. We probably wield this Falcon. And also great with cards like Sky Scanner. And that also means we don't need to worry about picking up too many divinations, since we already have our card draw covered. Here we can choose between Swiftclaw, Acid Scatter, and that's it pretty much. So I'm going to go with Acid Scatter, have some creature interaction. Probably leaning towards the Explosive Apparatus to have another cheap artifact. Not a fan of Cancel. Wouldn't mind Invoke the Divine, but we're playing a quick draft here, so we're not playing any sideboarded games. So that makes the value of Invoke the Divine go down significantly. Alright, don't mind me a Take Vengeance over Omen Speaker. Always like a Disperse in these decks. Try and punish those enchantment-based decks. Probably not playing Dwarven Priest, but I'll take it anyway. And we wield Invoke the Divine, but I think I want to make sure we end up with enough creatures. So I'm going to take the Linebreaker, since I doubt we're going to main deck Invoke the Divine. And actually not too sad with another Field Creeper. And alright, we wield the Falcon over Totally Lost. And another Serpent just in case. Alright, so our deck is shaping up very nicely. Got a lot of powerful synergies going. And wow, we opened two potentially great cards for our deck. Cleansing Nova doesn't fit our deck whatsoever, since we're a very aggressive deck and we're gonna get on the board quickly, but it is the kind of card that can turn a game around that you're otherwise losing. But another Ether Shield Artificer is quite strong and goes well with our two Field Creepers, or Sky Scanner, or Guardian. And there's also Encyclopedia and another Guardian to consider. But I'm definitely leaning towards Artificer over Cleansing Nova here. I just think our deck is so powerful that we don't need to rely on the raw power of Cleansing Nova, and that we can just kind of get there with our synergies instead. I think that's defensible. Kind of want to see how far we can push these synergies. Definitely a few options. There's a Sift, always a nice card draw card. There's Aven Windmage, which goes well with our Gloves and our Axe. There's another Acid Scatter. Those are the main considerations here. So let's take a look at our deck. We almost have enough playables already. I'm not sure how many Falcons we're going to end up with. Definitely a few cards I wouldn't mind cutting. So Sifts don't have a ton of 4-drops, so would be okay in our deck. Acid Scatter is always nice, but we're also lacking 3-drops right now. So Aven Windmage is looking pretty appealing, especially if we want to run the Rogue's Gloves. How many instants and sorceries do we have for the Windmage? Not a lot, so it's mostly just a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which is still fine in this deck, but unexciting. It's not much better than a Rustwing Falcon, Yeah, I might actually just go for the raw power of Sift here. And a few good options here. There's Surge Mare, which is definitely powerful. There's Pack Beast, which goes well with all our artifact synergies. And also an extra 3-drop, which we were missing. Could take another Acid Scatter, which is always okay. And Cavalry, I don't think it's Cavalry after just picking up Sift. So it's probably either Pack Beast or Acid Scatter or Surge Mare. Surge Mare being double blue is a bit difficult on the mana. And we have a lot of mana sinks already with all the equipment. So paying mana to pump Surge Mare is not gonna come up a whole lot if we have one of those equipment in play. So I feel it's either Pack Beast or Acid Scatter. And I'm leaning towards Pack Beast. Goes very well with Apparatus. Field Creeper and Sky Scanner can easily trade. And a 2-3 is just fine in our deck too. Definite upgrade over Tolarian Scholar. So I think I'm fine with Pack Beast. This is a pretty stacked pack as well. Stag, Courser, Dwindle, and the Axe we could also consider. Don't think it's Axe. We've already picked up quite a few artifacts in the meantime, so probably don't need those anymore as much. Courser goes quite well with our Field Creepers, help them get through for damage. Goes quite well with our Rogue's Gloves, and we've already have quite a few powerful 4-drops. So taking the Stag does have some diminishing returns. I think I'm leaning towards Pegasus Courser here, just as a nice evasive creature to go with our equipment. And I think we can do without Dwindle if we can just be more aggressive. Alright, what about this one? This one's kind of a brick. Nothing exciting for us. Don't need another Tolarian Scholar. Already have a Wall of Mist. So yeah, this pack, unfortunately, not really what we were looking for. Might just take a cancel, but I don't expect to play it. And again, we're playing best of one, so no sideboarding. Otherwise, I might have taken the Wall of Mist there. Alright, so we have our choice between another Field Creeper or Marauder's Axe. I actually think it's Field Creeper with double Artificer. We want to have artifact creatures. And right now we only have the one Guardian, the one Sky Scanner, and the 2 Creepers. So this is a weird draft, but I kind of like Field Creeper in this deck. Alright, so now we have the option of another Axe or a Dwindle. Don't have any Dwindles yet, so first Dwindle is definitely appealing. And we already have a Gloves and an Axe, so how many equipment can we possibly run? I think I like Dwindle here. Alright, so now we get our Disperse, number 2 if we want it. Probably not running it. Oh, nice. Definitely was looking for another Gearsmith Guardian. So nice payoff here. We are pretty light on blue creatures to go with the Gearsmith Guardian. Right now we just have the Prodigy, Omen Speaker, Animator, Engineer, and Serpent. So we have an okay amount of blue cards to go with the Guardian, but definitely would have liked a few more. So I might actually cut the Line Breaker for Tolarian Scholar just to have an extra blue card for the Guardian. This pick doesn't matter. Alright, got a Swiftclaw if we want it. Alright, so this deck, despite not having any insane rares, has a lot of powerful uncommon synergies going on. So I'm actually excited to try it out. So not sure how many Rustwing Falcons we want, maybe one is enough. I'm not sure if we want a Mighty Leap. We might cut the Line Breaker for Tolarian Scholar. So I need to make some cuts here, so I'll cut one Falcon at least. Cut the Mighty Leap. This deck could get away with 16 lands, potentially. Since our curve is pretty low, we don't have to play our 6-drop if we don't want to. So I think 16 lands might be okay. And then I might cut the Sea Serpent as well. Keep our curve nice and low. Could potentially cut one Field Creeper, but it's such a great combo with the Artificer. Let's take a look at the curve. I think I like Axe and Gloves since they go well with our Falcon. And I think Falcon's gonna be decent for us. And also having all these cheap artifacts means our Skilled Animator gets a lot better since we can play 2-mana artifact into Skilled Animator, start beating down. Yeah, maybe it's just a Guardian because it's the most expensive card. Let's try it like this, and then we can still make some adjustments if we feel like we need more top end. Alright, so I think this deck is quite powerful. I'm interested to see how it plays out. Definitely one of the more synergistic decks I've drafted so far. It's unfortunate that we didn't end up with any Scholar of Stars, since that card would have been amazing in our deck. Yeah, the sand seems quite good. Man, if this Omen Speaker were Field Creeper, the sand would be unbeatable. Alright, Omen Speaker still okay here, wow. Speak of the devil, I think we still play Omen Speaker here, then turn 3 we can Field Creeper, turn 4 Artificer, turn 5 Guardian, or maybe Engineer. And we just want to find more lands here. I think we bottom both. Gloves and Falcon are a nice combo, but I just want to make sure we hit land drops. Alright, that's fine. Probably wanted to attack before casting the Divination there. Alright, land is good. So is it Field Creeper time or Marauder's Axe time? I think Field Creeper, since it curves way better into Artificer. Not interested in trading. So I'll keep Omen Speaker back. Ether Tunnel on the Walking Corpse. Alright, we're racing. So do have Disperse in our deck and Dwindle. That can get them pretty nicely here. Artificer seems better than Engineer here, by a little bit. That's fine. Yep. Opponent's gonna take 1,000,000 damage here. Apparatus is great too, can destroy the Walking Corpse. Playing Guardian might be just better here though. Could go Engineer plus Apparatus as well. Alright, the synergies are coming to fruition here. Alright, opponent says go. So what's the best card they can have? They can have the Chill, giving our creatures -2/-0. They can have a Murder to just straight up kill the Guardian. Don't think we can really go wrong with giving Creeper +2/+2 and attacking with everyone. And then we can go Engineer in case something went wrong. Otherwise we can also use Apparatus to finish them off. Strangling Spores could also be consideration and maybe a reason to target the Guardian, but that's worse in the face of Murder in response. And now I think I'm fine attacking with Omen Speaker. Alright, they did have the Chill, so they only take 5. Huh, that's a weird block. Alright, so our opponent should still be able to survive a turn had they blocked Artificer, since, yeah, this block didn't really accomplish anything, but I think we would have still easily won here, regardless. Alright, sweet, so, I mean, our Mopey Field Creeper turned into quite a threat after we played our Artificer, and we still had a lot of good leftovers in hand. So very happy with our first game here. Let's see if we can keep it up. Alright, so sadly this is a one-lander, which I don't think we can keep even on the draw. Alright, this is better. Don't need more lands. Hoping to draw an artifact to go with the engineer. Our deck can use a few extra lands as mana sinks to move equipment around, but ideally we don't float out in the first place. I'm fine just blocking with the Falcon. If our opponent is incentivized to put an enchantment on their Falcon, then Disperse is gonna be great. Alright, opponent's also happy saying go. Probably playing Courser so we can go Engineer into Skyscanner. And Courser lets us attack for 1. So our draw is shaping up nicely. I think we've got our opponent beat here. I doubt he'll play Island Engineer here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, so I wouldn't mind drawing into a land here potentially. Alright, Field Creeper's okay. Think we keep those 2 back still. Doesn't seem worth it to trade 1 damage for 2 damage. And he can potentially jump the Drill Master, which would be pretty painful too. Alright, so our opponent's on red-white. The plot thickens. Skilled Animator on Skyscanner is also quite a play. Make a 5/5 flyer. And Disperse is going to be great if it comes down to a racing scenario, which this is shaping up to be. So don't mind our spots whatsoever. Starcrown Stag, that's a good one. So a land would be helpful. Huh. Not sure about that play. Okay. So I think it's just Animator, keep up Disperse over Guardian. It's a more aggressive play. Do we disperse a stag now? I guess we can wait until beginning of combat to disperse a stag. Alright, so do we disperse stag? Do we let them attack? I think we are fine letting them attack. They're not even gonna bother. Alright. I'll disperse now. Could have dispersed a flyer, but this I think is gonna work out fine. There's not many removal spells our opponent can have that kill the Skyscanner here. Especially if we make it indestructible. So Artificer seems fine. Kind of force the opponent to chum block. Maybe Animator is a bit ambitious. Don't hit our spots. Guess we could still get destroyed by a Cleansing Nova here. Sure strike, that's fine. Opponent's still in a lot of trouble. And the Sure Strike indicates no Cleansing Nova incoming. Alright, Stag is now irrelevant. So are they dead? Jump. 1, 2, yeah, I think they're dead. Sweet. So that was quite a draw. Despite our opponent's small misstep there with the Drill Master, didn't think it would have mattered. And just curved out nicely, had some nice synergies going. So very happy with how the deck is doing. This deck would have loved more Sky Scanners, Color of Stars would have been nice too, but can't really complain with double Artificer, Skilled Animator, and the 4/4 Flyer. Could definitely have some draws where we draw all our Field Creepers and no payoff cards, but we should have enough payoff cards where that's not going to happen very often. How about this one? It's missing the artifact, but we have a few of them in the deck for sure. Yeah, on the draw I think we can keep. We've got enough good draws in the deck. Just don't want to see more lands essentially. We've got 3 Field Creepers, 2 equipments, plus an Explosives. That would be great draws before we drop the Animator. Asset Scatter's okay as well. Can catch their 3-drop. Blue-White Mirror. Main phase Anticipate. So they're not even trying to represent Asset Scatter here. Oh, that's a good draw. Prodigy into Axe into Animator. That's a lot of damage. Huh. Alright, so how much do we respect the cancel? They could have a lot of tricky things here. I don't mind waiting a turn on the Animator to ensure that we can connect with our Axe. Could also equip the Prodigy, so maybe that's what the opponent is waiting for, to use a bounce spell. Could keep up Asset Scatter, could play Field Creeper, so a lot of options here. Probably should not have played Plains there and instead played Island in case they bounce the Prodigy somehow. I think we lose too much if our opponent counters Animator here, so I think I'm just going to attack for 2, and we'll see what happens, and then I have to decide whether I want to play Field Creeper or keep up Asset Scatter. I think I'll go Field Creeper here, since we have the Marauder's Axe to push past a potential blocker as well. And we're happy if they tap out for a creature, since then Animator gets converted, and we're definitely happy trading Field Creeper for cancel. Well, that's a good one too. So now we can just Rogue's Gloves equip. And we're definitely fine if our opponent uses a card bouncing or 1-drop. And they can't really keep up counter spells forever. They might have a chill here. Yep. That was kind of their best case scenario, not having any other interaction. Okay. So that's how we're gonna play this. We're having this nice game and then you just had to drop a Tezzeret out of nowhere. That's no fun. Well, time for Animator. Opponent says nice. Alright, so we could attack Tezzeret with both. Opponent just jumps the Axe. I think I would rather connect with the Gloves, since if we attack Tezzeret we don't get to draw a card here. And then attack Tezzeret with Axe. And then our opponent can choose whether they want to prevent us drawing cards or keep plussing Tezzeret. Probably keeping up Asset Scatter no matter what here. Yep. Nope. Alright, so we're probably just dropping a Guardian here. And then I'm still gonna keep attacking Tezzeret with Axe and Animator, Prodigy at our opponents. So every turn that goes by, we're getting ahead on cards, which is good. Just have to make sure Tezzeret doesn't ultimate or do anything scary. Yes. Omen Speaker is reasonable too, but I think I like keeping up the pressure. A Tezzeret would have been good in our deck too, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, land is good. We just want to avoid our opponent getting to a board stall where they can keep plussing Tezzerets. So we might need to draw... Well, our opponent's had enough. And that's why Synergy sometimes just straight up beat busted Mythic Rares. Our deck's been performing way above my wildest expectations. So we should still keep in mind whether or not we want a second Guardian in the deck. But so far I don't think it's necessary. Seem to have enough beef on the board without it. Alright, so this time we're on the play. Don't have any blue mana, so we've only got 8 islands in the deck. But we're also currently missing an artifact. Alright, this'll do. I think we'd rather just find lands to be able to cast our Sift. Attack first in case I have a shock here. Well, I'm glad that our leftovers include Sift, since we're gonna need those extra cards. That's kind of the worst case scenario here. Well, at least Artificer is fine. Be patient, young Field Creeper. Soon, soon. So, opponent could have a nice red-black sacrifice deck here. Don't think we were dispersing. Scholar is actually a decent draw. Brushwing Falcon is essentially going to be a 1-mana lava axe this game. So far it's just a lava spike. Needs a few more turns to evolve into a lava axe. Alright, never mind. We're gonna have to be patient on this disperse to try and catch the Harpy with a lot of counters on it. Opponent seems to have a pretty synergistic deck too here. Harpy with double Dissenter is definitely where they want to be. Hello. Suppose they could still trade for it. If they sacrifice that one, make a zombie, but then we're getting rid of their Harpy. Don't think they're going to be interested in that. More likely they're just going to chump with the center and sacrifice it to the Harpy, put a counter on it. But I'm fine forcing that action since we have Disperse. Well, let's hope they don't have Act of Treasons at the ready here, since that would be an issue. I think we're just attacking with Falcon and Creeper. Opponent just sitting on their Harpy for now. Gonna try and disperse it once it gets a little fatter. Lightning Strike. That's pretty mean. So they're just gonna gobble up our Field Creeper. Don't think we want to disperse. Although we do have the Artificer, which kind of wants the Field Creeper to stay in play. But if we disperse the Doom Dissenter, then we probably just die to the Harpy. All opponents had a pretty nice deck so far. Double Doom Dissenter, Harpy, Lightning Strike. Although we have been on a mulligan to 6 here on the play, so we're behind a few cards. Sift is gonna have to make up for it. What is this? Electrify 2. Yeah, that's a good one. So is it time to disperse a zombie? Or the Harpy? Don't think we can just take 6 here. So I might just disperse a zombie. Yeah, this is gonna be an uphill battle for sure. Alright, that's okay, I guess. Could have potentially kept back the Prodigy to block the zombie, since we're probably not winning this race. Alright, there's a Field Creeper. So do we just equip Falcon, attack? I mean, how many instant speed removal spells can our opponent possibly have? Alright, that's what we needed. We might not even block with the Creeper since we have Artificer coming up next turn. It's actually funny, if our opponent Act of Treasons our Falcon, then we get to draw the card with the gloves, I'm pretty sure. So it looks like our opponent has a Thud here, so they're gonna kill us no matter what if they have Thud. If we take 7, then we're also dead to Shock or another Sure Strike. We would only be attacking them for 7. So I'm guessing we're dead anyway, but I'm gonna block the zombie to potentially give us an extra turn. Looks like a Thud. Yep. Alright. I mean, our opponent had a very good deck too here. They happened to draw their Harpy to go with a double Doom Dissenter, which was quite strong against our start. And some nice removal spells to back it up. And we were on a mulligan on the play, so not too surprised. We have a lot of good draws here. Skilled Animator definitely comes to mind. And we can cast all the spells in our hand, which is nice. I think I keep up Acid Scatter for something bigger. Not too concerned with countering their 3-drop. That's fine. So, can be blocked by blue creatures, which is relevant. So the Tolerance Scholar is not gonna work. Could attack with the Field Creeper, I doubt our opponent's blocking. And then we can play Rogue's Gloves second main. And then next turn we can equip Gloves plus keep up Acid Scatter. Could just keep up Acid Scatter this turn to potentially get their 4-drop. Since they didn't play a 3-drop, which is a little suspicious. It's more likely that they have a 4. Could just keep Field Creeper back to block the Lightning Mare, but that goes against our Rogue's Gloves plan. I guess we'll play it more cautiously here. Don't want to take too much damage. And just try and trade Creeper for Lightning Mare. And then next turn probably keep up Acid Scatter. Okay then. Well, Dwindle's looking great now. So we could play Gloves, equip attack. I think we can just be fine casting the Dwindle right now, even if it's not the most mana efficient play. Attack for 4. Opponent can still pump the Lightning Mare, so it's not like Dwindle completely negates the Lightning Mare, but it definitely helps. And then next turn just play Angel, try to raise them. Seems okay. Don't really want to take 6. Alright, that's fine. I think we're just playing Angel. Could also play Gloves, keep up Acid Scatter, double block, but then if they have a trick, we're in trouble. I think we just need to play Angel and hope the Angel can survive. Opponent's got 6 mana. Rocks Oracle, it's okay. We likely double block Elemental, although we could just take 5. Since we're also gaining 2 from the Herald, and the Herald's not gonna die this turn. And double blocking leads to us taking 4 from the Oracle. So it might be okay to take the damage here. If we had another creature in hand, things would be different. So now the play is just Rogue's Gloves, the Herald, equip, attack. Should have kept up white mana there. And I don't think I risk attacking with any of these guys, since I want them both to be able to block the Oracle in case something happens. Yep. Well, I probably would have still kept up Acid Scatter here, but having the option of being able to play Take Vengeance would have been nice. So we're actually okay here if we can survive this turn. Act of Treason. Yeah, that's a good one. But I'm pretty sure we still get to draw the card with the Rogue's Gloves, since we're the one controlling the equipment. So these are blocks we could make, so we don't risk dying. I think it's fine to make the conservative blocks here, and they can still pump the Mare twice, but it's only 2 damage. That's fine. We'll see if we get to draw the card with Gloves here or not. Yep. Thank you. And they didn't even pump the Lightning Mare there. Alright, so now we have Take Vengeance for the Elemental. I guess we attack first. And then we should just be able to outrace the Lightning Mare, even though they can activate it a bunch of times here. Definitely keeping up Acid Scatter. I could consider moving the equipment to the Falcon. Don't actually hate that. In case something happens to the Herald, we still have our Falcon equipped, and we might need all our mana with Sift. That's fine. So they can hit us for 3 here. They forgot to do so last turn, and they mistapped their mana. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I hope they improve the auto-tapping. Courser is a good one. So we can Scanner, Courser, keep up Essence Scatter. Seems like the safest play. Don't really need to play Sift right now since we're so far ahead on board. Alright, I like our spot. But anything can happen. Okay. Are we gonna get comboed out here? Definitely blocking. Rabbit bites. Alright, that's acceptable. They can have their rabbit bite. So if we take it, we would be taking 6 down to 3. Seems like unnecessary risk. I think we sift before attacking here actually, so we know if we need to keep back Courser or not. So had we not jumped, we would have killed our opponent with Apparatus here. Skilled Animator also wins us the game here, so that's nice. And yeah, so apparently if we make gloves into a 5/5, it's no longer going to be an equipment and it's going to be detached from the Falcon. We'll see if that happens. Yep. Flying gloves, and there we go. Oof, that was a close one. But I think I'm happy with how it played out, and my game just crashed. Alright, yep, we got the 5 wins. So 2 more here. And how about this one? If we draw a second land, this hand is actually quite good. Turn 1 Prodigy, turn 2 Field Creeper, turn 3 Omen Speaker, look for more lands. If we miss, it's really bad though. If we were on the draw, I would consider keeping. On the play, it's pretty sketchy. Yeah, I don't think I'll keep. But again, on the draw I would have kept that since we have 2 looks at a land. Do we keep a Field Creeper? On the play I actually might, since it might do like 2 to 4 damage. And it's better than a land, I guess. Duress, sure, take our Essence Scatter. Don't recommend playing Duress in draft, at least not in the main deck. Plays around 24 lands. Well, these Field Creepers don't match up very well against the Neonate, that's for sure. Right, an Axe can also do some work. Alright, that's a good one too. Although only adds 1 to the clock right now. Not the best dwindle targets. Alright. Traded the Courser for a Creeper, that's good. Oh, come on. But not getting punished for 2 main deck duresses is... I feel bad. Might be okay if they don't have removal for the Angel. That's fine. They have 1 card left, so we might be okay here. And yep, that's the card we were looking for. That's why we have 3 field creepers in our deck. Alright, nice. Opponent down to 5. We're pretty ahead on board now. Just a land. Might be doing it. Suppose we move it to the Artificer. If they have nothing, they're dead. Sweet. Well, got to see the synergies come to fruition near the end there. Awesome, so we're up to 6 wins. Let's see if we can finish with 7. And this hand's pretty great. We've got Sky Scanner into Engineer. I'm not sure if we're gonna play Axon 2. Probably are. Oof, I think I actually gloves here. And hope to draw a land 4. Alright, they had a 2-drop which we might have been able to counter, but that's okay. Just want to make sure to draw a land here. Alright, nice. So we have a few options. We can keep up Acid Scatter, equip gloves. We can play Engineer. Don't hate playing Engineer here. Get some nice board presence going. And then we have 2 creatures we can target with the gloves next turn. And then we can sit behind this Acid Scatter like cowards. Alright. So Titanic Growth. No thanks. I mean, can easily be a bluff there, but it's pretty hard for us to block. Post-combat Oaken Form. It's interesting. Alright, so strongly indicates Titanic Growth, otherwise there's no way they make such a weird play. Alright, so racing a Sentinel is going to be somewhat tricky. I think, let's see. I think I want to get the cards flowing here. So I'm going to equip the Sky Scanner. And then I probably just keep up Acid Scatter after playing Apparatus. Hope they don't have main deck plummets. Alright. And the next turn we can play Scholar, maybe move the axe around. We'll see. That's okay. I imagine our opponent's mono green at this point, so they might be playing the enchantment, giving +1/+1 for each. Wow, okay. Yeah, we might get beaten by this Sentinel if we're not careful. But we do have a chump blocker in Scholar at least. So I think we're still attacking with both. Just try and draw into more chump blockers essentially. We also think they still have the Titanic growth, so have to be taking that into account as well. We could go Herald, but then we only get to play Prodigy. So the play is probably Scholar, Prodigy, keep up Acid Scatter, and then we're definitely thinking about chump blocking. And then next turn we might have Lethal. We might be 1 mana short of equipping Axe and then sacking the Apparatus. Alright. Yeah, it's worthy of an Acid Scatter, I think. So their hand might still include Titanic Growth. Yep, it's kind of an indication of it. Yep. Alright. Alright, sweet. So we got the 7 wins. Sweet, sweet. Happy with how the deck performed. Got to see some nice synergies in action. And I think I'm happy with our pick of the extra creature there over the Cleansing Nova. Although there was a game where Cleansing Nova could have been great against the Arcadis deck. Alright, let's crack some packs. Gin of Wishes. Pack 1, pick 1 situation. Gin of Wishes over Cage. Followed by Spores, followed by Gloves. Pretty good pack. Probably taking the Green Seeker of a Spit Flame, but it's close. They're both pretty good. And then 3rd pick, Strangling Spores, 4th pick, Oracle. I also want to thank all my patrons for supporting the channel, and you can do so yourself as well over at patreon.com/LegenVD, where you get cool rewards for supporting the channel, as well as getting us closer to our goals, where with every goal reached, we will release an additional weekly series. So if you want to see more content, Patreon is the place to go.